This isn't morning sun, it's a 300 watt light I'm about to overclock to 500 to see if it can finally replace my studio flashes. That light up there is the Zhiyun Molus G300, and this is a lantern softbox I'm trying for the first time. Look at this head, it's thinner, lighter, and looks nothing like the traditional studio gear we're used to. Well, to be fair, you also need this. Today I'm putting this through its paces in real scenes around my house, from faking golden hour in the kitchen to cinematic night shoots, and try to answer one question: can a continuous video light finally give me the power I need for photography? When I got this light, I was confused. Why do you need this big box? Turns out it's a control box and is connected to the light with a long cable. So you can put your light as high as your stand goes and still change the brightness and color from the ground. The head on its own weighs about 1.5 kilos or 3.3 pounds. Add the control box and you're closer to 2.8 kilos or just over 6 pounds. That's still compact for a studio light. I just have to compare it to the Godox light mounts I recently reviewed. One thing to know before you get too excited: there's no battery option. It runs off mains power, so wherever you take it, you need a socket. I'm back in the studio, but this time I'm skipping my usual gridded softbox. That one gives me a dramatic focus look. Today I'm using the Zhiyun 85D lantern softbox instead. Still soft, but it spreads across more of the room, which makes it great for interviews with several people. Not that I'm interviewing anyone these days. There are two kinds of filmmaking I want to do more of: documentary side projects and cinematic pieces about my day-to-day life. And with a newborn, the day-to-day is where my focus is right now. The way I ensure that the shots are exposed consistently is using false color, a heat map that tells you at a glance which part of the image are under or overexposed. It's not available in camera, but Sony made it available to my CVE1 and A7C II via the app, and I feel really spoiled because of it. If you don't have false color in your camera, zebras will get you most of the way there. But the thing that really trips people up when they are chasing consistent exposure is base ISO, because it changes depending on the camera and the picture profile you're in. And keeping track of that across different Sony bodies can get confusing. So I put together a free cheat sheet. The link is in the description. Print it, keep it in your bag, or stick it on the back of your camera on label paper. Even if you're not a Sony user, it can inspire you to create your own. I'm using two phones while recording. With one, I control the Zhiyun lights, and with the other, I see how the changes affect the image in real time. For this, you need to install the Zhiyun Vega app, and you can imagine how much more convenient this is compared to having to get up, go to the light, change the values, then go back to the camera and check the image. You can adjust color temperature and go from 2700, which is warm indoor lighting, to a neutral daylight at 5600 Kelvin, all the way up to 6500 Kelvin, which gives you those cool office-like tones. Of course, if you change your light temperature, you also want to adapt your white balance in camera. Now, let's play with this light. If I want to become a proper lighting influencer, I need to learn how to fake that shot of the morning sun while I drink coffee in my kitchen. I don't even like coffee. This is Ceylon tea with cardamom and a splash of milk. That's my caffeine fix. But the point is, I don't need to depend on the weather outside. With this light and the included reflector, you can replicate the morning sun and play a bit with the color temperature. Right now, my camera's white balance is set to 5000 Kelvin and the Zhiyun light at 3200. Just remember, it isn't waterproof, so if you're shooting outside, don't leave your poor light out in the rain. You can also replicate morning sun in the middle of the night, but health gurus aren't wrong about circadian rhythms. That's why I avoid bright lights after dark. That's the time to relax and read a good book. By the way, I asked my girlfriend to do a dolly shot with a towel, but I think we will need to keep practicing that one. I was watching The Bear, and there's an episode where they recreate a big thunderstorm in Chicago. So why not try it at home? It's one of the 14 lighting effects this light can do. There's also a TV effect, which is handy because I don't actually own a TV. I used to write effects off as a gimmick, but they open up a lot of creative possibilities. By the way, if you like how my footage looks, I can't take full credit. I shoot in log and apply a phantom LUT, which does a good chunk of the grading for me. I will leave affiliate links to phantom LUTs and all the gear I mention in the description. After playing filmmaker for a bit, it's time to try photography. The 300 watts is more than enough for my video needs since I mostly use lights indoors, but the 500 watts is something I could use for my photography. The idea is simple. If I'm shooting a documentary project, I want to take some stills as a part of it, and it's not practical to change into strobes every time. The same when I'm recording my YouTube videos and I need to shoot thumbnails. I've got good news and bad news. But first, I overclocked the light to 500 watts and the color temperature was logged at 4300 Kelvin. The fan was also running really loud. But the worst part is that, in my experience, it doesn't give you any more power than the normal mode. I took a series of portraits with continuous light. Same as with the last light I tested, I used a 120 cm gridded softbox to stay consistent. But here's the good news. Without overclocking, the 300 watts are enough for stills too. I set the light to 5600 Kelvin and call it a day. Much easier than overclocking. I've had a lot of fun playing around with this light at home. But there are a couple of things you need to know. The first one is the case. A lot of people are disappointed this light doesn't come with one. I've accumulated plenty of cases over the years, and the thing they all have in common is that I never use them. I'll just pack the light carefully in one of my bags when I need to use it on location. But I understand why it's a must for some, so perhaps it should be a paid option. The second one is entirely my fault. I'm not proud of this, but somehow I managed to break this light. My big softbox got stuck and I was in a hurry to use it with my strobes. So I took a screwdriver and got it out, but the small plastic piece that locks the softbox came out with it. I've looked online and this doesn't seem to be a common problem, and Zhiyun were quick to offer a solution, but I had to mention it. That little plastic thing keeping your softbox in place is a weak link. Now, here's what you need to do to avoid getting your light stuck. First, make sure the balance ring on your softbox isn't loose. Second, always lay your softbox flat on the floor and attach the light horizontally. I think it's a great light to have if you're getting serious about learning filmmaking and you want your videos to look better. I'll leave affiliate links so you can check the different models models and prices in your region. I've seen it around $500, which feels fair for what you get. It also comes in a 200-watt version, the G200, which is about $200 cheaper. So ask yourself if you really need this much power, and if what you're after is maximum portability, the kind you'd pack in a backpack, you might be happier with the X200. I haven't tried it myself yet, but the customer reviews are really good. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and watch here my Godox Lightmount review if what you're looking for is a more traditional studio light.